Hello, Internet. So, this week I'm going to be cracking open the Yu-Gi-Oh! Maximum Gold box, or to be more precise, three of them. I just have the one here so we can take a quick look to see what's actually in it. I will preface this by saying, now, while I normally don't say whether or not you should buy something, with a few exceptions, personally, when it comes to these sets like this cost $35 Canadian for one box. So that's about $9 Canadian. Generally, I think most of the cards in this set, I took a quick look online, I think most of them not worth that much. So, I mean, unless you're specifically just wanting the thrill of opening up the packs, you're probably better off just buying singles for what you want. The chances of pulling the high money cards, I don't think are that good. So, I mean, unless you're explicitly just wanting to, open up the box, get shiny cards, yeah, if you're wanting to pimp out your deck, just buy the singles. But because, yeah, like I said, it's $35 Canadian, works out to about $9 per pack. It's about 50% markup from over the cost of a regular pack, which I think is about $5-6 depending on the set. Even cheaper if you're looking at something like the Duel Link set, or Duel Link, the Speed Duel sets and things like that. So, yeah, and so get plastic off, and so it's sealed in plastic, and then they have it glued shut. That's oh no, it's tape shut. There we go. And these are actually there we go. A little bit of a pain to get out, and considering the size of it, of the 4 packs to the box, yeah, that's a lot of wasted shelf space. Honestly, not sure why they need. I guess because it's supposed to be this big fancy set, but then you get 4 packs, 7 cards in each pack. It's that's a lot of wasted space. But anyways, we'll do a jump cut as I quickly open up the other 2 boxes, and I'll see you back here in a few moments. And we are back. So we'll just get right into it. So if you're wondering why I only bought the 3 boxes and not the full case, it basically boils down to after taxes, this 3 packs, or the 3 cases, were just over $100. If I got the extra 2, that would put it just shy of $200 Canadian. So I didn't feel like dropping that much on these sets. But we have Brotherhood of the Firefist Coyote. If you control a fire formation, spell, or trap, and no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. I mean, decent effect. Elemental Hero Stratos. And you have the nice gold foil border. Nice gold around the cards, on the stars, on the attribute symbol. When this card is normally summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Destroy spell or traps on the field up to the number of hero monsters, except this card, and add 1 hero monster from your deck to your hand. I mean, decent effects. We have Noble Knight Brothers. Can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters and no other monsters. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Noble Knight monsters. Once per turn, you can target 3 Noble Knights and or Noble Arms cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into the deck, then draw 1 card. I mean, I'm kind of questioning the first ability on it, but the fact that, target 3 Noble Knights and Noble Arms in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into the deck, and draw a card, that's a good effect. Domain of the True Monarchs. Well, you have no cards in your extra deck, and you are the only player that controls a tribute summon monster. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. If a tribute summon monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack. During damage calculation only, once per turn, you can reduce the level of one monster with 2800 attack, 1000 defense in your hand by 2 until the end of this turn, even after they are summoned or set, and even after this card leaves the field. We have a Kitchen Dragon Maid. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Dragon Maid monster from your deck to your hand, except Kitchen Dragon Maid. Send one Dragon Maid monster from your hand to the graveyard. At the start of the battle phase, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon one level 8 Dragon Maid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. You have Mage Power. Equip monster gains 500 attack and defense for each spell or trap you control. And Set Rotation. Set 2 field spells with different names from your deck on the field, one on your field and one on your opponent's field. While either of those cards remain set on the field, neither player can activate or set other field spells. And yes, you can see you do have 2 cards in each pack where it has the gold foil border, gold frame, gold on the stars, attribute, name, and then the rest of them are just, here's a regular rare with gold name. So that's sort of why I was saying that I don't think these are really worth it overall. You're only really getting 2 cards that are really stand out. We have Dark Lord Contact. Special summon one Dark Lord monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can only activate one Dark Lord Contact per turn. Traptrix Daone. Unaffected by the effects of a whole normal traps. While this card is normal summoned, you can target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in defense position. While this card is special summoned, you can target one whole normal trap in your graveyard. Set that target, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if it is still on the field. I mean, seems decent enough. Ooh, Harpy's Feather Duster. This one was, I remember from way back in the day. Just straight up destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. I think this one was actually on the banned list for a while. I'm not sure if it still is. But, I mean, nice to see this one. Wouldn't mind getting the Dark Magician and Blue Eyes out of this, but... Trickstar Reincarnation. Banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw the same number of cards. I mean, that seems like good for a mill deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Trickstar monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, overall, that's not too bad. Dark Lord Morningstar. Cannot be special summoned. If this card is tribute summoned, you can special summon Dark Lord monsters from your hand and or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. When you control another Dark Lord monster, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Once per turn, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of the Dark Lord monsters on the field, and if you do, gain 500 life points for each Dark Lord card sent to the graveyard by this effect. So, I do like how, if he's tribute summoned, you can special summon Dark Lord monsters from your hand or deck up to the up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. A little sad that, he can't be used with Dark Lord Contract. We have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. You can detach 2 materials from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its current attack, and if it does, this card gains the lost attack. That does not say until end of turn either. And Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Buffalo. If this card was in your graveyard, you can send a total of 2 Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand and or face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, I mean, decent little graveyard recursion effect. Still happy to pull the Feather Duster. I'm not sure if it's actually legal right now, but, it's always nice to see one of the old workhorse cards like that. There Can Be Only One. Each player can only control one monster of each type. If a player controls 2 or more monsters of the same type, they must send some to the graveyard so they control no more than one monster of that type. Focus, please. Thank you. I do like the more casual language there. Yeah, send some of them to the graveyard. Cyber Dragon Infinity. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Cyber Dragon Infinity by using Cyber Dragon Nova you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card. Gain 200 attack for each material attached to it. Once per turn, you can target one face-up attack position monster on the field. Attach it to this card as material. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Foolish Burial. Send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. Number 39, Utopia Beyond. If this card is Xyz summoned, the attack of all monsters your opponent currently controls becomes 0. That's nice. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one face-up Xyz monster you control, and one Utopia monster in your graveyard. Banish the first target, and if you do special summon the second target, then gain 1,250 life points. That's interesting. Chaos Dragon Levanir. I know I probably pronounced that wrong. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by banishing 3 light and or dark monsters from your graveyard. When summoned this way, you can activate this effect. Apply the following effect based on the attributes of the monsters banished. Also, this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn. So, for only light, special summon one monster from your graveyard in defense position. Only dark, shuffle one random card from your opponent's hand into the deck. And both light and dark, destroy up to 2 cards on the field. I mean, overall, that's a very good effect. Superdimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate spell or traps in response to this effect's activation. Requires 3 level 10 monsters. I mean, that's 5,000 attack, though, so I mean, he's definitely been eating his Wheaties. And Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing. If this card is special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. You must attach another Mecha Phantom Beast monster to activate and to resolve this effect. This card's level is increased by the total level of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, you contribute 2 tokens, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target, and if you do, banish it. I mean, overall, that's not too bad. A little bit of a shame that... Oh, hold on a second. If this card is special summon 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. You must control another Mecha Phantom Beast monster to activate and resolve this effect. I mean, the fact that, you know, as long as you have tokens, he has some built-in protection is nice, though. We have Noble Knight Pelennor. You can target one Noble Arms equipped spell equipped to this card and one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy them, then draw one card. Also, this card cannot attack for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. We have Necro Valley Throne. Add one Gravekeeper monster from your deck to your hand, or immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Gravekeeper's monster. Lair of Darkness. All face-up monsters on the field become dark. Once per turn, if you attribute a monster you control to activate a card effect, you contribute one dark monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Once per turn, during the end phase, special summon as many Torment tokens as possible to the turn player's field in defense position up to the number of monsters tributed this turn while this card was face up. That seems like a good way of clearing out the field a bit. Barrier Statue of the Heavens. Neither player can special summon monsters except light monsters. I mean, 1,000 attack and defense, so I mean, it's pretty easy to just punch over, but... Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. To activate this card, you must draw it for your normal draw in your draw phase, reveal it, and keep it revealed until the start of the main phase 1. At the start of your main phase 1, that same turn, you can special summon from your extra deck or graveyard one monster that has a number between number 101 and number 107 in its name, except number C monsters. Then exceeds from your extra deck one number C monster with the same number in its name as the first monster by using... Wow, that's... I get what they're going for. But, man, that is a lot of... I'm just pausing. Yeah, that is a sentence that starts at the end of the second line and goes to 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 6 lines long. That is a massive run-on sentence. Yeah, good old polymerization. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck. I mean, I think generally if you're going to be using fusion summons, I think most of the archetypes have their own specific polymerization at this point that tend to be better than polymerization. But I mean, it's always nice to see the old one get some nice treatment. Mecha Phantom Beast Blue Impala cannot be used as synchro monster. Cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for the synchro summon of a machine monster. The other synchro materials are Mecha Phantom Beast monsters in your hand or on your field. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon one Mecha Phantom Beast token. Huh. That's interesting, and at least you can use material from your hand for it, for synchro summons. We have Extra Foolish Burial. Pay half your life points, send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. You can only activate one Extra Foolish Burial per turn. You cannot set spells or traps during the turn you activate this card. I mean, that's still a very good effect. Synchron Carrier. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Synchron monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. If another Synchron monster is sent to your graveyard as material for the Synchron summoner of a warrior or machine Synchro monster, while you control this card, you can special summon one Synchro token. You can only use this effect once per turn. I mean, it's not bad. Fire Formation Gyoku. Activate this card by targeting one set spell or trap in your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted effect. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response to this card's activation. While this card is face up on the field, that set card cannot be activated. All Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 100 attack. I mean, it's okay. It blocks up one of your opponent's spell spots. Infernity Mirage cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. If you have no cards in your hand, you can tribute this card, then target 2 Infernity monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. That's not too bad. Zodiac Chekanine. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Zodiac Chekanine by using one Zodiac monster you control with a different name as material. Transfer the materials to this card. Gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zodiac monsters attached to it as material. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one Zodiac monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but for the rest of this turn, its effects are negated, and it cannot be used as material for an Xyz summon. I do like how it gets the attack and defense of all monsters attached to it. That's an interesting one. Preparation of Rites. Add one level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Then you can add one ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand. So that's very good for if you're running a lot of ritual monsters. And Mind Control. Target one monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Take control of that target, but it cannot declare an attack or be tributed. The White Stone of Ancients. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Another Traptrix Dione. We have Herald of the Arclight. Any monster that is sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, you contribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one ritual monster or one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So I do like how it just straight up... oh no, it's only from the hand or main deck. So I mean, at least it still stops things like Foolish Burial. And... yeah, you contribute this card, negate the activation of a spell or trap, and if this card is sent to the graveyard. So it's very good at getting your ritual spells and traps. We have number 74, Master of Blades. When a card or effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can destroy one card on the field. Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Neither player can special summon monsters except wind monsters. Cosmo Town. Once per turn, you can target one of your banished Cosmo monsters, return it to the hand, and if you do, lose life points equal to its original level times 100. Once per turn, you can reveal any number of Cosmo monsters in your hand and shuffle them into the deck, then draw cards equal to the number of cards you shuffled into the deck. If this card is in the field zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one Cosmo card from your deck to your hand. I mean, that's not too bad of an effect. And the Prime Monarch. Once per turn, you can target two Monarch spells or traps in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw one card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one other Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard. Special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. 1000 attack, 2400 defense. This card is not treated as a trap. You can only use this effect of the Prime Monarch once per turn. We have Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac. Kind of reminds me of Skylynx from Transformers, actually. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, special summon two Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, you contribute one Mecha Phantom Beast monster, then target one card on the field. Destroy that target. And you cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. So, I mean, it's very good at point removal, can't be destroyed by card effects, creates his own tokens with no hoops to jump through, or not too many hoops to jump through. We have Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman. Becomes Buster Blader when it's on the field or in the graveyard. If a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those destroyed monsters, equip it to this card. Once per turn, you can send one monster card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same type as that monster sent to the graveyard. So very good against decks that are only running one card type. Or only a few card types. Another Elemental Hero Stratos. Another Master of Blades. Another Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. We have number S39, Utopia the Lightning. You can also XZ summon this card by using a rank 4 Utopia monster you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card. Cannot be used as material for an XZ summon. If this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Once per chain, during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster while this card has a Utopia XZ's monster's material, you can detach two materials from this card. This card's attack becomes 5,000 during damage calculation only. I mean, it's alright. And Planet Pathfinder. You contribute this card, add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. So, I mean, gives you another way of bringing out your field spells. Fortunately, I mean, you have to get this out onto the field, then you contribute it, but that's still not too bad overall. We have another, there can be only one. We have Artifact Lancia. You can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a spell. During your opponent's turn, if the set card in the spell and trap, special summon it. During your opponent's turn, you contribute this card from your hand or face-up field. Neither player can banish cards for the rest of this turn. I mean, it seems like it's a decent little trap effect. Trap in the sense that, you know, you want your opponent to target this with spell or trap removal, and at that point you get to special summon it. Speedroid Taketomborg. If you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Speedroid Tuner monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except wind monsters. And you can only special summon 1 of them per turn. We have a Synchron Carrier. Focus, please. Focus. Thank you. We have Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. During either turn, except during the end phase, you can discard this card, apply the effects this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. Each time your opponent special summons an effect monster during the main phase or battle phase, you gain life points equal to that monster's attack. If you did not gain life points by this effect, your life points are halved during the end phase. So, I mean, it's one of the hand traps. Pretty good hand trap considering how often people enjoy special summoning cards. Terraforming, add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. Barrier Statue of the Abyss. It's the other barrier statues except for dark monsters. So we have Mech Knight of the Morningstar. If this card is link summoned, you can detach 1 Mech Knight monster or 1 World Legacy card. Add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of the Mech Knight of the Morningstar once per turn. If your Mech Knight monster battles a monster in a different column than it, your monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from that battle. Just a moment. Where is... There we go. Dark Lord Morningstar. Mech Knight of the Morningstar. No, I don't think there's any relation between them. This one doesn't have a space in the... or has a space in its name. Unexpected Die. If you control no monsters, special summon 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from the deck. I mean, it's decent enough for getting tribute material out. Noble Knights of the Round Table. During your end phase, you can activate each of these effects up to once per turn depending on the total number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your graveyard and or your control. Focus, please. There we go. So 3+, send 1 Noble Knight from your deck to the graveyard. 6+, special summon 1 Noble Knight from your hand. Then you can equip 1 Noble Arms equip spell from your hand to the monster. 9, target 1 Noble Knight monster in your graveyard. Add that target to your hand. And 12, draw 1 card. I don't know how many Noble Knight cards there are, but considering that you need at least 6 in your graveyard with different names in order to get even the something that isn't just searching out from the deck and putting it into the graveyard, That doesn't seem that good. Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. If your opponent special summons a Link monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, draw cards equal to the number of Link monsters your opponent controls +1, then shuffle cards from your hand into the deck equal to the number of Link monsters they control. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, you can discard one card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. You can only use each effect once per turn. That seems like quite a good effect. I mean, you're looking at, I guess, so you draw one card. I guess you draw 2 cards, then you shuffle one back in if they have a Link monster. And then if they have more, it goes up, obviously. We have Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Hang on. Is that, yeah. Same card, but with the, I think one of them is the alternate artwork from the, what was it? Dual Overload set? The one I covered a while back on my channel. I did end up buying 2 more of those sets, so I do have a full playset of the Ghost Girls. Another Blue Impala. And, hey, Trunade! Return all set spells and traps on the field to the hand. We have Mistaken Accusation. If your opponent has more total cards in their hand and field than you do, target one face-up card on the field. Neither player can activate cards with that name or their effects for the rest of this duel except that target. Huh. That's an interesting way of shutting down your opponent's card. We have Solemn Judgment. When a monster would be summoned when a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap is activated, pay half your life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card. I mean, this just basically pay half your life points and you can just stop, I think, literally anything? No, I guess you can't technically stop an opponent's monster effects from activating, but, I mean, most things you can stop. Miracle Contact. Shuffle into the deck from your hand, field, or graveyard the fusion materials that are listed on an Elemental Hero fusion monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos as fusion material, then special summon that fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. We have Cyber Dragon Core. When this card is normal summoned, add 1 Cyber Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You can only use Cyber Dragon Core effect once per turn and only once that turn. And it becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field and graveyard. I mean, it's decent enough. And another one of the Ghost Girls. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. So when a card or effect is activated that includes any of these effects, discard this card, negate the effect. And this is the one that it's adding a card from the deck to the hand, special summoning from the deck, sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. So anything involving the deck, she can cancel. We have Storming Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, return all of your opponent's attack position monsters to the hand. I had the original Mirror Force back in the day. This is a nice different take on it that gets around all of the cannot be destroyed by card effects. We have Dark Lord Rebellion. Send 1 Dark Lord monster from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. Destroy 1 card on the field. You can activate 1 Dark Lord Rebellion per turn. I think that's the old man from the Solemn cards as well. So I guess he is actually supposed to be God. Neat. And then, of course, if you know your Bible lore, if that's supposed to be God, then that would be Lucifer, also known as the Dawn Star, who is probably the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord that's in here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Dark Lord Morningstar. We have Night Beam. Target one set spell or trap your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response to this card's activation. I mean, it's nice enough effect. Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Requires Buster Blader and a Dragon monster. Must be fusion summoned. Cannot attack directly. Gains 1000 attack and defense for each Dragon monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. Change all Dragon monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Also, Dragon monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects. If this card activates a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So this is very much the anti-dragon card. And 2800 attack. I mean, he could punch through most things, but if you have a way of turning your opponent's stuff into dragons, he'd be a lot better. We have Forbidden Chalice. Target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. I mean, good way of shutting down your opponent's cards. Another unexpected die. The Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish. I know I probably pronounced that incorrectly. During your main phase, you can send one of the Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard, then set one Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. If a Dark Xyz monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to while this monster is on the field, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. You can only use each effect once per turn, and cannot be used as link material. That's unfortunate. We have Dark Lord Nastin. You can discard two other Dark Lord cards, special summon this card from your hand. You can pay 1000 life points, then target one Dark Lord spell or trap in your graveyard, apply that target's effect, then shuffle that target into the deck. You can only use this effect once per turn, and you can only special summon one of him per turn. And another and another Preparation of Rites. And last pack. I'm going to hold out a little bit of hope for getting the Blue Eyes or Dark Magician, but it's doubtful. I mean, I did pull a fair number of useful foil cards, so that's nice. Gare Gigant X. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, add one level 4 lower machine monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. While this face-up card leaves the field, you can target one level 3 or lower Geargia monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. We have Eater of Millions. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by banishing 5 or more cards from your hand, field, and or extra deck, face down. Gains 100 attack and defense for each face down banished card. Cannot be attributed nor used as material for a fusion, synchro, or Xyz summon. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster face down. So I do like Eater of Millions. Just a shame that I think there's a bunch of the other cards like, what was it, Feast of Millions, where, it removes cards from the game, or banishes the cards, I should say, but I don't think it does it face down. We have Gaia the Dragon Champion. So, another one of the older classic monsters from Yugi's deck. A little sad that it's only gold outline and not the entire Curse of Dragon in gold foil. That would have been a neat effect. Traptrix Mantis. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand, unaffected by the effect of whole normal traps. Once per turn, you can target one set spell or trap you control, return that target to the hand, then you can set one spell or trap from your hand. We have another Utopia the Lightning, another Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing, and another Storming Mirror Force. So, once again, I mean, overall, most of the cards, I mean, unless you absolutely want a Storming Mirror Force with gold text at the top as opposed to, just being fine with the regular silver, or even, the black if it's released as a common or in a structure deck. I mean, these are the... Whoa! That's me knocking over my camera. Yeah, these are the premium gold rares. But most of them, I know some of them, when I looked at the price, were $50 for the more expensive ones. Most of these I don't imagine are going to be that much once the set's been out for a little while. You can, if you don't need, I mean, if you don't need, another Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, pick up the Dual Overload set. You get a full set of you get one each of the 6 Ghost Girls for the price of... Yeah, I think it was actually like maybe slightly more than the price of one of these boxes. So, overall, I hope you enjoy this video. If you like it, please, like, comment, subscribe. You know the routine, and thanks for watching.